one word, but it can have such a huge meaning. We've all heard the word fashion, but what is the true meaning behind it? And what is it doing to our world right now? Well, you're about to find out. I'm going to explain that how wanting the latest style can have a major effect on our environment. Then, why we need to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns, just like the 12th UN Sustainability Goals states. And finally, ways we can all help. There's no denying, we all love the feeling of brand new clothes, the ones we've been wanting for ages, or finally getting the latest trend. But what is the effect that this is having on our environment? For a start, the more clothes we buy, the more clothes the fashion industry needs to produce. And this is the reason why so many unwanted clothes are tossed away each year, because we've decided we're done with them and then we move on to the next trend. But do any of us really stop and think about the effect that one pair of clothes can have on the environment? Each year, as much as 92 million tonnes of clothing end up in landfill. That's 85%, leaving only 15% to be reused. We know that throwing clothes away alone can have a major effect on our environment. But what about how they're produced? Fashion production alone is responsible for 10% of the whole of humanity's carbon emissions, and 1/5 of the world's 300 million tonne plastic pollution each year. This is because of the equipment that needs to be used when producing the clothing. And as if this wasn't bad enough, fashion industry is also responsible for polluting and drying up water sources, because the amount of water used to create even just one pair of jeans adds up to 2,000 gallons of water. And all of this, our environment, our waterways, even our fresh air, is being sacrificed for us, just so we can have one new pair of pants or one new top. And it's just going to end up in the bin like everything else. So enough already. Consume with care. We need to start thinking about how the smallest things can have the biggest impacts. And social media doesn't help. People, more specifically teenagers, are always buying things that they might literally use once. But because they can buy it, they do buy it. And this is used to show that they have the latest trend, just to be cool like everybody else. But in reality, what is this actually achieving? A few likes on a post? I mean, whatever happened to the world would be boring if we were all the same. Well now, people seem to think the opposite. They think they will be boring if they're not the same as everyone else. And this is a huge problem. Consumerism alone is depleting the natural resources on Earth by more than 70%. Take oil, for instance. We're using so much for things like brand new cars, planes, and heavy machinery, which is all used to deliver us our latest purchase. With all of this, we're getting one step closer to running out of oil. What's going to happen then? More importantly, what are we going to do to stop it from happening? How can we help? For a start, we can say no to unnecessary oil use. We can think before we throw, or even better, before we buy, ensuring we are only buying fashion we need, not want. Or, when we do see something we like, check to see if we can find it local instead, which brings me to my next point. Next time you have fashion you know you don't want or need anymore, let's try donating it to local thrift shops instead of just throwing it away. In conclusion, we've learnt just how big of an impact the fashion industry has on the environment, and just how many ways it can do so. I hope this has gotten through to you all, and maybe helped make a change in the way we all think, because we have a voice, we all do, and it's up to us how we use it. Because change isn't made by those who think, it's made by those who act. And it's our future, so we get to decide what it looks like. Because trust me, tomorrow seems like it's never coming, but it will be here sooner than we think.